Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel, and for this week's tanning trial video we are going to be testing out the brand new Tropez Berry Sorbet tanning mousse. This one has come out literally for the UK this week, just gone. So what you can expect within this video is before and after pics, obviously, because the rule is pics or it didn't happen. A full rundown regarding the application process, the developing process, and also the aftermath of wearing the tan for a couple of days, all of that good stuff. So if you want to see all of that, make sure to keep on watching, and if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on my socials. I've got an Instagram, I've got a Vinted, and I also have a TikTok. So starting off the whole tanning process, the way you should always do is prep. Prep is key. You can have the best tan in the whole wide world, but if you do not prep your skin properly, it will most definitely be the worst. Exfoliate, shave, moisturise, and a bit of extra moisturising on the drier parts of my body. So you've got the elbows, on the hands, ankles, and the feet. Oh, and the knees. I always forget the knees. Well, I don't forget to moisturise my knees, I forget to mention that I moisturise my knees. So yeah, did all that good stuff before I filmed the next clip. So before we jump into the application process, this is what my body looks like before I get started. My face is always a lot lighter than my neck and the rest of my body. This tan is supposed to be super similar in regards to formula to that other product. It just has this brand new scent that they've added in. One of the massive things when it comes to fake tanning is, do you stink during and after applying tan? I think the main thing that brands try to strive for is completely banishing that biscuit smell that you get. Personally, for me, it's the days following the application of tan that I worry about smelling that way the most. When I've got the tan on, it's to be expected. You've got tan on, you know, you are going to smell a bit funky. Sometimes with certain products it's worse than others. This one, I can definitely say they hit the spot with this new scent. I really like it. I'm now going to have to smell it again to try and describe it to you. In my opinion, it smells like cherry mawams. It's that kind of like sweetness of cherry mawams. I don't know if mawams are just like a UK thing or if they're not, but this is what they look like, and they're absolutely delicious. Not great for my TMJ just because they are super chewy, but I do love them so much. So as you will see, I'm going to be showing you all the problem areas. So wrists and hands, we're doing the elbow check within this video. I start with one arm and move across my chest and then to the other arm just to give it time to dry if I need to apply another layer. With this tan, it is only one shade, but obviously like with anything, so if you wait and then apply a further layer on top, you can make it darker. The development time on this tan is 4 to 8 hours, so you could literally wear it within one day. If you want it just a little bit of a light sun-kissed look, pop it on, leave it on for at least 4 hours and then wash it off. Deeper tan, or you know, you're lazy like me and just want to sleep while it's working, 8 hours is absolutely fine as well. Whilst I was applying the tan, I cannot lie to you because you can see me struggling whilst applying. It kind of applied a bit streaky for me, which I thought was a bit odd because I don't think this is very different in regards to formula to that other product. Hard to buff into my skin at some points. I don't know if I was maybe applying too much to certain areas, but it really did take a lot of work for me to get a completely seamless application. At first I started off with the mitt and it got to the point where I was worried it would develop streaky if I didn't buff it into my skin, so I brought in the help of my trusty buffing brush just to see whether or not that could like do anything for me, and luckily it did. So you can see on the screen a picture of my leg. One leg you can see I've got one layer of tan, and then the other leg you can see I've got absolutely squat. The guide layer is really good, and like I said, it just was a bit hard for me to apply. Ended up just going over my entire body with the buffing brush, which is something I'm not really that used to doing. Maybe I've been spoiled with other products. So yeah, that's what I did, just applied it to the rest of my body and buffed it out. Can't again lie to you, it took a while for it to dry, and I was a little bit worried that that meant that maybe it would transfer. Luckily I have the magical thing of silk full length pajamas. Thankfully after it did dry, it was dry then, and that was it. There wasn't a transfer, so we were all good in the hood when it came to that. As I said, I'm lazy, so I like to do a little snoozy time whilst I'm wearing my tan just to get the most out of it, because I like being as dark as I possibly can be when it comes to tan. Washed it off in the shower. Not a massive amount came off when it came to the guide layer, like it really did suck into my skin. So I rinsed all my body, patted it dry. On my body, I'm a very dry skin girly, so I have to moisturize as soon as I get out of the shower. So yeah, the next morning, as you'll see, the tan came out great. The before and afters for these are undeniable, obviously. Tropez is always just like a banger when it comes to developed tan for me. So yeah, no streaks. Like I said, my skin was a little bit dry when I got out of the shower, but I am a dry skin girl, so that might not be the product. Applied really evenly, really nicely. Didn't really grip onto any areas on my body in particular. As you'll see, my hands application was great. My elbows didn't look very bad either. I can't really say that it like clung massively to any areas like that. One thing I did notice when I was doing my sort of before and after comparisons is unfortunately it did sink into my pores in the usual problem areas, which are on my legs, on my chest, and also on my back. It's not horrendously noticeable. Also, it's not the summer, so I don't really have my legs out anyway, so it really doesn't matter, but it is just something to be aware of if you are somebody that maybe has larger pores on their body. So what day did I apply the tan? Let's have a look. So I applied the tan on Wednesday evening. It is now Saturday evening as I'm filming this, and it will be Sunday when you're watching this. The tan is holding up amazingly. It says on the bottle that it should last up to 10 days. I think if you do the usual things, you regularly moisturize twice a day and all that good stuff, you know, you probably would get 10 days of wear out of this tan. For me personally, I just can't fathom the thought of wearing tan for that long. I could maybe stretch it by applying like a gradual tanner towards the end of the 10 estimated days, just if I didn't have time to like scrub off the tan and start again. The video's coming to a close. We now need to get to the nitty gritty about this tan. So packaging, 10 out of 10. Tropez just has a look when it comes to their packaging. You just know it's Tropez. Ratings when it came to fragrance, as I said, I really enjoyed the smell of this. It is a little bit on the heavier side when it comes to scents. So if you are a little bit sensitive to smells, that might be something that you should maybe keep in mind. The application process, when it came to applying the tan, like I said to you, I did find it a bit difficult, and that was quite disappointing for me, considering that this isn't really supposed to be that different to their other formulas, and I don't struggle like this with any of their other products. It lowered it in the ratings for me when it came to application. Obviously it didn't matter because when it came to rinsing it off, the application was fine. There was no patchiness, there was no streakiness, there was nothing. It was just the application was a lot harder work than what I'm used to. So I'd probably rate it like a 5 out of 10 when it came to actually applying the mousse to my body. Drying time, again, it took longer than I'm used to. I might just be a spoiled princess, I don't know. So again, I'd probably rate this like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 when it came to the speed. Even though it did take a while to dry, the transfer or lack of transfer was impressive. So for that aspect of the application process, I would give it like a 8 or 9 out of 10. Colour payoff for the tan, brilliant, great, can't complain. 8, 9 out of 10. Maybe if I wanted to go a bit darker, I would try layering it up a bit more. Wait a while for it to dry and then apply another layer. The wear for me is pretty good so far. I mean, only on day 3, but so far so good. So overall, how do I feel about this product? I think this tan had its high points and some of its medium to low points. So it was a very mixed bag when it came to this whole tanning experience. But for me, the good outweighs the bad. So I think I'd probably give this tan like a 7 out of 10 overall. I did forget to mention at the start of this video, this tan actually does retail for £34, which is on the higher side. When it comes to the more higher end tans, you do expect it to be an all-round consistent experience. Would I say that it's worth the price tag? I would say I think so. At the end of the day, it's what the tan comes out like after you've applied it. But for £34, some people expect the world. So just be mindful of that. It's more on the pricey side. So that is it for this week's tanning trials video, testing out the brand new Tropez Berry Sorbet Tanning Mousse. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up so I know. Links will be in the description to this tan in case you want to try it out for yourself, along with my socials. I've got an Instagram, I've got a Vinted, and I also have a TikTok. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I will also leave a link to the whole tanning trials playlist on the screen in case you want to sort of dive into that world, because I have been doing this for a hot minute. Thank you again so much for spending your time with me this week. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and week, actually, whatever you're doing. I will see you next time for another video. Bye guys.